Yeah, so if you like torque and you like controllability, check this out. We're gonna go slow. Tires dropped off in the hole. We're still going slow. Look at that. Look at that. Look. Yeah, that's torque and controllability right there. Yeah. What's going on, guys, and welcome to bullgearrc videos. So today we have the Tamiya mini motor low-speed gearbox installed in the ECX Barrage 124 scale. So if you haven't seen the last video, we assembled the gearbox last video, and this little truck I got at a hobby shop, real cheap. It was a brand new truck, but it was a factory defect. The steering servo didn't work, and I believe something was the matter with the battery and or the battery charger, because I could get about a minute's run time out of the thing, and it was dead. So we took care of those problems. But the idea with this truck, guys, is to see if we can make this thing kind of cool. And I do like to experiment on these particular little types of trucks. So what we're going to do is go over how we installed the little mini gearbox. If you're following along at home, if this is something you might want to do to your barrage. So the first thing I want to point out, this is really handy to know, is that this diagram on the back is actual size. So this is actually, you know, same size. So it makes it real easy when we go to do the installation to have these measurements handy. Now, first thing I did is I had to figure out a mounting bracket for this. So using the measurements here, I just cut out a little piece of paper and got my bolt holes lined up. And what this is 37 millimeters long, 10 millimeters wide. And then once I installed this to the ears, I discovered when we sat it in here that it needed to overhang on this side. If the gearbox needed to overhang a bit. So what I actually did was cut 2 millimeters off of the little plate that I made. And I made that plate out of this little 060 styrene sheet. You might make your plate out of something different. Maybe a little piece of aluminum or whatever, you know, because this is custom build, and I'm just trying to give you some basic numbers and what I did. And as you can see, I used the screw hole closest to this edge. It does have a little lip on the inside, which makes the gearbox lean down, which worked out really good, actually. The next thing we had to address after we got it mounted was we had to take a look at this shaft, because obviously the shaft is way too long. So what I did was I installed the shaft, and then I used the original shaft here to mark my lengths that I needed to stick out either side of this gearbox, and that made my shaft length 1.25 inches coming out of here. And this number is approximate, because once we started working on things, we did have to adjust just a little bit. So we cut them off at 1.25 inches. This one happens to be 7/8 of an inch, by the way. So the difference between 7/8 of an inch and 1.25 inches is 3/8 of an inch. So the actual shaft here is 3/8 of an inch longer than the old shaft. So we had to actually shorten our drive shafts and drive shafts are equal length, so we were able to take an equal length out of each drive shaft. Half of 3/8 is 3/16. So we took 3/16 of an inch out of each drive shaft, and we did that on the large end. On the small end, the one that slides inside, you don't have to take that much off. You'll be able to press it all the way in and see how much you need to take off. But anyway, that's how basically we did this, guys. It was, with the limited tools I have, it it took me a little bit, 2 or 3 hours, I guess, is the time involved, depending on your skill set, what tools you have available to you. And another thing that we had to do with the shafts is obviously we had to cut them flat on one side, because the drive shafts have a half circle type of a fitment. So we used a little grinder, we ground them off, and then we had to drill a hole through each side so we could put our screws in. So all in all, this thing is a night and day difference between when it was stock and the way it is now. It slowed it down substantially. Low speed control. This thing has probably got the best low speed control now of any of my 1/24 scale crawlers. It's just, night and day difference between this. Top speed is pretty slow, but we're using a 1S LiPo, and I chose that because the box says that this motor is, all the ratings are at 3 volts. So yeah, I just used this 1S LiPo out of the little Hobby Plus, and it seems to be working good. We could, go up to a 2S and get the wheel speed up higher if that's something that we wanted to do. But right now, for my purposes, this is just about right, I think. And like I said, this thing is, it really works good. As far as durability goes with these plastic gears, I have no idea at this point, but I guess time will tell us that. But like I said, insofar as controllability and torque goes, this thing is stupid now compared to the way it was before. I really like it. I like this mod better than I like the dual motor mod that I did back a while ago in the CR24. It just works better. It's probably just as easy to install, and yeah, I really like this mod. And I might try different mods as we move along, like maybe doing a steering servo gearbox or something. But for right now, this is working out really good for me. I think I'm going to leave it this way. I kind of like it. And I'll show you another mod that I did to this Barrage while I was at it. This is the original steering link, and as you can see right here, it's got this big old spacer in it. And what was happening was this was coming up here and hitting the frame and limiting our suspension travel. So I took the steering link from the CR24, screws right in, direct fit, and now with the suspension all the way compressed, we are just barely clearing the frame, by a hair. But it increased our suspension travel on that side quite a bit. So that was a nice little mod that we can do, just getting rid of this little spacer here. And anyway, so that's where we're at with trying to make this little Barrage cool. And next thing we're going to do, guys, is we are going to start working on the body. We're going to see what we can do with the body on this thing. And you know, maybe get this thing where we can do a couple run videos with it or something. Until next time, old Uncle Lee, bullgearrc videos said, I'll see ya.